And let's get down to business now with Nona Peltier. Hi, Nona. So this was some nasty statistics released today. The economy shed a record 37,500 jobs last month as the COVID-19 lockdowns shut down most businesses. I mean, Is it going to get worse?
Yes, it is actually going to get worse according to all the surveys that we're seeing. A variety of surveys are indicating that businesses are still really pressured, especially the ones, of course, in the tourism sector, but not just them. We've heard more recently about, 1,000 jobs here, 1,000 jobs there. It's a really quite widespread. So much of the industries that have been affected by tourism-related, losses. And also restaurants still are struggling. They're not 100% open. We had the restaurant brands today talking about their dining rooms are still not open. Sure, they're doing takeaway and delivery and so on, but their business is not returned to normal. They say that the New Zealand business is unlikely to fully recover this year. It's a difficult situation out there. And we had a survey earlier today which was the ASB Business Confidence Survey, and a net of somewhat 42% are expecting there to be redundancies in their business. That also mirrors another confidence survey we saw through the Auckland Chamber. So, it's almost certain that we're going to see more job losses.
Yeah, so that's more than 1,000 jobs a day in the 30 days of April. Do we know which regions have been worst hit?
Well, I would assume it'd be Auckland. I don't actually know which regions. We've heard it would be pretty widespread, and you would expect that to be more pronounced in those areas which rely heavily on tourism, like Queenstown and Rotorua. We know that those areas were hard hit, and we heard about that early on. So we probably have seen these job losses from those regions as well. Yeah. And, of course, the airline.
Absolutely. A lot of jobs from Air New Zealand. Okay, the Financial Markets Authority is warning advisors to take more care in giving clients advice. And I suppose this is around all the market volatility at the moment. What sparked the warning?
Well, there was an advisor not named who sent out a bulk email, if you can imagine this, to clients early on in March when the volatility took hold and we saw those massive drops. We were talking like 3% and 10% and all sorts of wild numbers. And at that point, this advisor sent a bulk email to clients saying, shift now to a conservative fund, a low-risk fund, and without ever kind of also suggesting that maybe these people ought to consider their own situation. What is their age? What are their ambitions?
Yep.
What are their goals? What have you?
How close to retirement are you?
All of that.
Yep.
And so, of course, some people actually took that advice, locked in those losses, and missed out on all the rebound, which we've seen since then. And the FMA is saying, in this case, they're just warning this particular advisor because he quickly clarified his position on complaints from investors to the FMA. And the FMA is saying in the future, sort of next year, there's going to be new rules for financial advisors. But this brings up a big issue. And we've seen this like last week. Someone was saying that they estimated that people had locked in losses of like $3.5 billion. That's an enormous amount. These are for people saving for their retirement or a home.
Yeah.
And, they're saying, look, these low cost, no frills, KiwiSavers where you pay, the cheapest possible fee comes with no advice. He's saying these services should provide a very least a basic advice service for people so they don't make these mistakes. And it isn't, it isn't just one person who might have done this. This is quite widespread. We have very low financial literacy in New Zealand. Time and again, we write stories about it. I must have been, working on it for years about how we need to improve that. And yet we still have people who really don't understand how financial markets work. And here we've got KiwiSaver. We should be calling it Kiwi Investors so people understand it's an investment and to understand what that actually entails so they don't make these kinds of errors.
So the advisors get individual advice?
Definitely get some advice.
Yeah, okay. So what else happened with the market today?
Well, just a perfect example. So yesterday we had the market up 1.2, today down 1.7, 193 points. That's on the NZX Top 50 Index to 10,857. You would expect to see that given the surveys we had out today, the job losses. Yeah. And, of course, what's going on in China with Hong Kong and some of the upset there with conflict between the United States and China seeming to escalate during this period. So that's not helping things either. So we started out fairly strong this morning and then petered out through the afternoon. The New Zealand dollar, though, was little changed today, we are trading at 61.9 US cents and 93.6 Australian, which is a bit better than yesterday, and 50.5 British pence.
Thanks, Nona. That's Nona Peltier with Business.